and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The arguments both for and against the two-party system are as old as the Constitution itself. And that's what will be at the root of this broadcast. How do we fix the antagonism which seems to be rooted in Democrats versus Republicans? Because the issues are always far more complex than that. And neither party has a solution or an antidote which will appease everyone, even from within their own party. Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 9 a.m. for AZ's On the Fence, right here on Money Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher, back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right, they're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona, and they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike, and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach. Be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. Or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Money Radio staff, management, or advertisers, and do not represent an offer to buy or sell any securities. Some interviews heard on this program may be sponsored by the participants.
How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? Bad can I possibly be?
Welcome to Your Health is Wealth, giving you the keys to unlocking better health naturally. Today, you'll learn about how to bank wisdom for a fuller, richer life. Your hosts are Dr. Stephen Katz, an award-winning naturopathic doctor and former president of the Arizona Naturopathic Medical Association. Also, Dr. Lorena Ryder, naturopathic doctor and current board member of the Arizona Naturopathic Medical Association.
Hi, and welcome to Your Health is Wealth here on Money Radio, 1510 AM, 105.3 FM. I'm your host, Dr. Lorena Ryder. Dr. Katz is on vacation this week. He was visiting the Bermuda Triangle, so we'll see if he makes it back. We'll see if he's in Bermuda shorts. So we are here to provide practical solutions to your health issues that allow your body's healing systems to do the work for you. It's simple, it's natural, and it works. Today, for the topic of the day, we're going to actually be talking about the softer side of naturopathic medicine. We have a guest with us who will be educating us on the use of flower essence in medicine. We like to highlight our naturopathic friends every now and then and show a spotlight on their specialty. Dr. Whitney Donahue is a naturopathic doctor, certified neuroemotional technique practitioner, professional applied kinesiologist, and lifestyle medicine expert. Dr. Whitney, tell us about yourself and your practice as a naturopathic doctor.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I focus on natural pain and mind-body solutions. And so I try to aim to keep active people as active, energized, and healthy as possible. And I do that through all of those letters that you said. So it's really about, I work a lot with the nervous system and how do we optimize the body's functioning? How do we recognize the obstacles that are preventing the body from truly operating at the level that it's meant to do so, and to help it heal how it was meant to heal, which is naturally healing itself. So by eliminating those obstacles and giving the body exactly what it needs when it needs it, we're able to really do that. So all the techniques that I use in my practice come a little bit actually from the chiropractic field. And so I would say I practice a little less like a naturopath in that sense. But I really work with the nervous system and helping a lot of my focus is like nervous system regulation because the nervous system is king. So it's how do we get your body online? We're looking at the physical body, the mental, emotional body, and the chemical or biochemical body, and able to look at the body as a whole and all of these factors that are influenced, and how do we correct that? How do we work together to get the best results we can with that?
I'm telling you what, calming down the nervous system is like a feat in itself.
Yes.
Because there are so many people out there with anxiety. I mean, that's nervous system kicked up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just driving in traffic activates that.
Yeah, that fight or flight. We're
Yes.
always, yeah.
Yeah. So to be able to have a modality that calms that down and regulates it is very valuable. And also to do it with a softer medicine because, it can be scary to go to the doctor. It can be scary to do some modalities that you don't really understand or you've never had done before. So it's perfect. Perfect. So you typically use, well, I shouldn't say typically. I know you use all the modalities, but what we're going to talk about first then is flower essence. So tell us about that in medicine and how you use that in practice.
Yeah. So I would say no matter what my patients are coming in for, is nervous system dysregulation is the key to everything. And so what I'm finding is that they're like, I've been to all these naturopathic doctors. I've done the protocols. I've done all the supplements. I'm doing all this biohacking. Like, we're trying to shortcut all of this. And their nervous system is still overstimulated. So it's like, we have to get you into a healing mode so that you can utilize the tools that we have. So we're so overstimulated that it doesn't matter what the medicine is taking. Our body is literally like, we can't use it. We don't know how to use it. And so people aren't getting the results that they used to. Like, our medicine is so, so powerful, but it's the society and the way we're living life is just we're not able to heal in that. So what I find is that with the flower essences, especially when I'm working with the nervous system, is that people's nervous system almost like short circuits. And so it's like, we're trying to, correct some things. We're fixing some muscles, and their body was just like, this is a little too much. We might spill the cup over a little bit, or it's trying to shift and it can't quite integrate what we're doing. And so that's where I found that flower essence, out of all of the tools I have, to be the most valuable. So I'm able to, in a session, muscle test what one they need the most right then and there. And I use the mists a lot because it's the easiest. And so I will just mist their body, have them take a nice deep breath, smell it, feel it. And the coolest thing about it is it's instantaneous. And so their nervous system automatically is just like, oh,
okay.
And they're back online and we can keep working. And so that's where I find it to be the most significant, is it's just giving these people like a breath of air and cooling down the nervous system in whatever way that they need to be. Just, it like turns them back on, and their body's like, okay, I'm ready to receive now, whatever that is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let me recap a minute. So you might have a patient who is star patient. They're coming in and they're doing all of the B vitamins and the D, and they're exercising and they're eating good and no seed oils, and they're just not getting their nervous system regulated. Okay. And so that's when you're like, okay, I have something for you. We're going to try flower essence. And then you also mentioned muscle testing. So we're going to get to that later on.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about muscle testing. And then the flower essence. So you have different flowers in different sprays, but you also have other types of just spray flower essence, right? You have like drops and...
Oh, yes. Yeah, the different kinds. So the company that I use is called Lotus Way. I met the owner, Katie, a couple years ago at a dinner with a bunch of other practitioners. And so this company's local to North Phoenix. They have a beautiful center, so you can go check them out. And so they come in the mist, which people love and I love. I think that's what I'm most drawn to because it's different. It's not a pill. We're not putting it in our mouth, right? And so we have the mist. We have elixirs. So it's like a honey-based elixir that you can use. You can put it in your coffee, in your drink, straight in your mouth, whatever you want. And then there's also anointing oils, which work a lot like an essential oil. So they're all the same. They all have the same stuff in them. They're still all going to have the same effect. It's just what works best for you and what will you use?
Mm-hmm.
Because we want you to use it like 5 sprays 5 times a day, 5 drops 5 times a day. So she always says uses them recklessly. So there's too much there's no such thing. So whatever way you're going to use them is the best way. So we always have those options for people.
And so like depending on what the patient's issue is, like whether it's anxiety or depression or you see so many different things, then there's a flower for that, right? It has an energy, it has a healing property.
Yeah. So flower essences are just that. They're the essence or the medicine, kind of more we think about like the energetics of the flower. And they work on both like I think they work a lot like homeopathy in terms of not the like cures like, but in the way that they work on all levels of the body. So they're geared towards physical ailments. They're geared towards different emotions and different life experiences and different things like that. So yeah, depending on what it is, sometimes we need to embody it. So I will recommend an elixir. Sometimes it's just something that we just need to feel really good. And so the mist works well for that.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, what benefits do you see from this?
I would say across the board, everyone has a different experience with it. But I would say when I see it in session all the time, just the people's reactions are it just is so calming to their body. Sometimes people will get goosebumps. Some people just can finally take a deep breath. But what I see is just this subtle shift. And it's this shift of becoming who you truly are. It lifts the layers. It is going to, based on the, flower essence and what it is, right? So we have like truth teller here. So if you have a hard time, people with thyroid issues often have a really hard time speaking their truth or using their voice. And so this one is really good to allow you to do that with it coming out really gentle and soft. So without, being abrasive, you can still speak your truth.
Nice.
And so it can be focused. We see a lot of that with different body parts as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I sprayed that truth teller right around my head and my face before we started. So just so you know, everything that's said here is the truth because I sprayed the truth teller.
Yeah.
So, and it smelled wonderful. It was really great.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Awesome. This is so interesting. So thanks for tuning into Your Health is Wealth. We are the doctors from Naturopathic Physicians Group located in Scottsdale, Arizona. After this quick break, we'll continue talking more about flower essence therapy.
Hi, I'm Bob Roth, and I'm the host of Health Futures Taking Stock in You. We've been on the air here on Money Radio since January 2014. I'm also the managing partner for Cypress Home Care Solutions, and we understand the importance of compassionate and trustworthy home care. In fact, we created Cypress Home Care based on our own personal experience of being caregivers for our own mom. We're locally owned and operated, and we are an in-home care supportive service agency founded in 1994 to better meet the needs of our community. You see, Cypress is a solutions-driven business dedicated to providing different levels of knowledgeable and experienced care to people who wish to stay in their own home. We assist with the needs of our clients with activities of daily living, from cooking and shopping to driving to appointments and even doing laundry. We also offer respite services by providing the relief family members so desperately need. So call us today at 602-264-8009 or look us up on the web at cypresshomecare.com.
Tired of that same old spin on Washington? You want the truth? Then listen to All Right Now with me, J.D. Hayworth, every weekday 3 to 5 p.m. right here on Money Radio. I'll give it to you straight. I've represented you in Washington, and I've lived to tell some tales. You can get involved. Call in, text our show, and you know you'll get it right. It's All Right Now, every weekday 3 to 5 right here on Money Radio.
Life is challenging and ever-changing, so take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com for our special offer, a financial freedom membership for only $297. That's 60% off the regular price. Enter promo code 2024. Learn to retire through real estate investing from the best. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Learn the path to retiring at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
Welcome back to Your Health is Wealth. We are live today and every Friday at 1 p.m. We discuss a different topic about natural remedies for your health every week. And today we are discussing the softer side of naturopathic medicine. Dr. Whitney Donahue is joining us today. She's showing us that as least invasive as naturopathic medicine already is, there is an even more subtle and soft way to treat patients with alternative therapies. And we're talking about flower essence therapy today. So let's continue our discussion. She brought a few samples with her today. So what's that first sample you have there in the pink?
So this one is called Joy Juice. So this one a lot of people are attracted to because it literally is joy juice. So a lot of people will take it and notice they just are lighter, they laugh more. I remember a lady telling me a story. I just ran into her at somewhere, I don't know what. And she was telling me her teenage daughter was struggling with going to school and doing a few things, and they would just put drops of joy juice into her oatmeal or her orange juice in the morning. And it like changed her demeanor.
That's awesome.
And just made her like more excited about life and happier. And she was like, this is the only thing that got her to go to school every day.
Wow.
So that's pretty.
I could have used
cool.
some joy juice in my kids' oatmeal sometimes.
And I think, going through medical school, I think we would have all needed that too. So yeah, so just nice and light and refreshing, which is the nice part about the mists is that they are just really refreshing.
Do we know what flower this is, or is it a
there's a combination usually of flowers.
Oh, that smells amazing.
Yeah.
I like the joy juice.
Yeah, and it just kind of like, it just made me take a deep, and I need some joy.
That's good.
So, and then this one is also one of my favorites called Full Bloom. It's lime green. It's a beautiful white flower on it. And it is really about fearlessness, determination, unveiling the hidden potential. So I think of this is when people really need, they're really driven, but they just need to do it. Or they need, I don't know. I just find it every time I look at my to-do list and I'm like, oh, there's so much stuff to do. And I'm just like, that's what helps me get through this. And this is so, I don't even know how to describe the smell of that.
I think I need to take this home.
Yeah.
I have a 16-year-old who she's dog sat and baby sat, but she hasn't gotten a real job yet. So she's been applying to real jobs like, hostess or childcare attendant or something like that.
Yeah.
But she's afraid to call them and ask what the status is.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I'm just nervous. So I think I need to take this home and give her some Full Bloom.
Yeah. Yeah. Full bloom. You can fully bloom into your highest and best self. And again, these are only going to unveil you, your deepest potential. And it's undoing all the layers that are preventing you from being your best self. And sometimes they're specific because that's the layer we need to eliminate at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a little bit about truth teller. So again, fearless speech, authentic expression, and conviction. So if you just have a hard time speaking up for yourself, speaking freely, telling the truth, whatever that is, again, it's going to come out nice. And if you're going to get the point across, you're going to be able to say what you need to say, but it's going to come out in a way that it's receivable by other people.
That's very helpful.
Yes. Instead of a lot of people who need this are the people who are reactive, where they're like, no one listens to me. I don't have a voice. So then when they get the chance to say something,
it's explosive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this takes that edge off and because it's what's the truth under that? What do you really want to say?
Yeah.
Instead of your emotions kind of getting the best of you.
That's fantastic.
And not reactive. Yeah. So, and also you can layer them and take as many as you want. So there's usually one core one that you really need at the time. And then the other stuff really just helps. So on the online quiz, when you do that, and I take that all the time because I'm just what do I need? It'll give you at least 3 options and it'll tell you, and there's always a description. So even when we, do a flower card reading, which there's different cards for the different sets of flower essences with all of the flowers on it. And so you look at them, and I have people pick out like 3 flowers that stick out the most to you. And then we'll test them all, and they can spray them and feel like you can feel them. Like a lot of times they'll give you like a shiver, or some will just feel really calm. And other ones that don't really smell that good are oftentimes ones you actually need.
So you use flowers that don't smell very good
Well,
too.
it doesn't smell good to you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of that is the resistance, is that whatever's in there is really needed for healing. And your dislike of that smell is kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Healing is tough.
To heal that, right? So that inner knowing we were talking about, I tested for that forever and ever and ever. And I was like, I do not like the smell of this. I do not want to use it, but it kept coming up for me. And as I started to use, I was like, fine, I'm just going to use it and see what happens. And as I started to use it, it started to smell good to me.
Oh.
And now I love it.
Interesting.
And that inner knowing is of like, you know, everything you need to know. You just need to do it, or you need to tap into it, or you need to listen.
Well,
Right.
so far, I need all of these.
We all do. Yes, for sure. And then this one, so again, there's 18, there's almost like 25, I think now. This is the first one I was gifted, is Fierce Compassion. And Katie has an unwavering of knowing, just like, this is just what you need. So Fierce Compassion is wholehearted presence, fearless love, and soft heart. And so each of these also there's 3 layers to them, in terms of there's 3 that usually go together. And so this one, I think of, this has a lot to do with any like relationship challenges that we have. It could be with parents, it could be with children, it could be with romantic partners, it could be with friendships, right?
Okay.
So one of them is infinite love. And then fierce compassion. I don't know. This one is just like, this one I just love. It's like kind of cinnamony.
I love cinnamon.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like,
it's red on the label.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of, anything red is compassion and
and geared towards
that's
love.
Nice.
So again, they have the different layers. So those go really well together to work, you know, with what's going through. So,
and you had mentioned a quiz. So there is a quiz that you take, because there's so many of these different flower essence combinations for different things. There's a quiz that you can take that kind of narrows things down.
Yeah. So I have it posted in the link in my bio on Instagram. So if anyone wants to go to that, my Instagram is Dr. Whitney Donahue ND. And you can, or they also have it on the Lotus Way website. So you can go through there, and they do an online flower quiz basically. So it'll just ask you, you know, throw up some flowers, you pick which one. And it's an instinct. Like, what's the first one that you're like the most attracted to, and you pick it. And then it'll ask you a little question about it to confirm. And you just like, oh, yep. And it's spot on every time. So even when I pick something random, you know, based on a muscle test or something, I don't know why they need it. I just pick it. I'm like, this is what your body needs. Let's look at it. And we look it up. And we read through the indications for it and what it's helpful for. And every single time the patient's like, oh yeah, this is me. This is what I need.
Nice. Okay.
Your body has the instinct to know exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I went to a little flower essence intro or party at Dr. Whitney's office, and she had nice teas there with the elixirs in that we could try each one of those. And I took a few of these sprays home with me, and one of them I used in my vehicle during my commute. It was kind of like a stress adapter, like to help deal with that commute without getting. I'm not a rager when it comes to being on the road. Yeah, I'm one of those people that just let you go. You know, don't get all upset. But it is stressful on the body to have that commute. So, and I didn't want to get to the office and start seeing patients already a little stressed out. So that was a nice way to kind of start the day and get into that.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to use it.
Yeah. And then I had a different one, and I was trying to remember what it was earlier, but that 16-year-old that I was talking about, she was struggling in school with, I think it was anxiety she was struggling with. And she was just spraying them just because she thought it was like a Bath and Body Works thing. And
it just smells
spraying it.
Yeah.
And so I started telling her, she might have asked me what it was, and I told her, and she was telling me about how like that was lifted for her. And, she wasn't feeling those heavy feelings anymore. I'm like,
that's amazing.
That's fantastic.
And so that's the thing, is like, you're just drawn to it. Like, I was so drawn to these and I didn't know why. And then I just used them for so long. And then I was like, okay, I have to bring these into my practice. Right. So it's like, even if they're just like, oh, I don't know, this just smells good and they like it, who cares? Right. Because their body is like, I need this. And then that's really cool that she's able to notice. She doesn't know why it's helping her.
Right.
But it did.
And I have to, like, just flowers in general. I mean, I have to think about the saying people will say, you know, stop and smell the flowers.
Yeah.
If you think about when you smell flowers, everything is kind of still and nice. And for a moment in your being, you are just peaceful.
Yeah.
And you're just smelling the flowers. And, you know, I didn't realize before this what that really had to do with your nervous system, but there is a science behind it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And ancient, years and years. Like, she travels the world collecting flowers and learning from these different, I don't even know what to call them, all over the world. So there's so much knowledge and power in them.
Awesome. So stay tuned. After this break, we'll come back and we'll be talking a little bit more about other modalities and the softer side of naturopathic medicine.
Things may seem wrong, but soon it'll be all right now. JD Hayworth here. Join me weekday afternoons 3 to 5 on Money Radio.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks ending mixed with the Nasdaq notching its fifth straight record close as investors weighed hawkish Fed projections against the backdrop of a cooling economy. It was a losing week for the Dow. However, it was a winning week for the Nasdaq and S&P 500. Tech stocks were the best performers today on AI optimism, with chipmaker and AI darling NVIDIA hitting an all-time high and posting its third straight record close, while Microsoft notched its fourth straight record close. Shares of cruise operators sank, with Carnival leading the charge on concerns that cruise lines are losing some pricing power, according to Bank of America analysts. The Dow winners, Salesforce, Microsoft, and American Express. The Dow decliners, Caterpillar, Boeing, and Apple. The Dow falling 58 points, the Nasdaq up 21, S&P 500 down 2. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Something amazing is happening in video conferencing. People are showing up in big ways. That's because CDW is building collaborative and connected video and audio environments with HP Poly. With Noise Block AI to silence distractions and group framing to highlight speakers, everyone on your team gets to shine. Make amazing happen. HP Poly and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/poly.
I'm Jim Chesko with your Money Now. It was a mixed finish for stocks today. The Dow Jones Industrials ended lower for a fourth straight day, slipping 57 points. The S&P 500 eased 2 points, but the Nasdaq Composite edged up 21 to notch a fifth straight fresh closing high. Apple is reportedly set to face charges from the European Commission under the Digital Markets Act for allegedly hindering competition on its mobile app store. Citing people familiar with the plans, the Financial Times says an investigation revealed that the EU regulators found Apple has failed to comply with requirements to permit developers to direct users to offers outside the App Store without charging them fees. An announcement regarding the charges against the tech giant is expected within the next few weeks. Shares of Adobe rallied 14% today. The Photoshop maker late yesterday slightly topped expectations for fiscal second quarter earnings and revenue, and it raised its full-year outlook. That's your Money Now.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 42424. That's ROCK to 42424.
If you can get a signal on your smartphone, then you can listen live to Money Radio. Download our app for free and never miss a moment of the great advice.
The arguments both for and against the two-party system are as old as the Constitution itself. And that's what will be at the root of this broadcast. How do we fix the antagonism which seems to be rooted in Democrats versus Republicans? Because the issues are always far more complex than that. And neither party has a solution or an antidote which will appease everyone, even from within their own party. Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 9 a.m. for AZ's On the Fence, right here on Money Radio.
So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with a surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people, and much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Hi, and welcome back to our weekly show, Your Health is Wealth, our weekly show on how to take charge of your health and get your life back on track. Today, we are talking about flower essence therapy. And we're also going to talk about a couple other modalities, neuro-emotional technique and applied kinesiology. I have a friend and guest here with me, Dr. Whitney Donahue. She's going to help me explain and describe these modalities. And first, we're going to talk about neuro-emotional technique. Now, we'll probably refer to it as NET or NET. But let me just tell you a little bit about it. So NET acknowledges the relationship between the body's stress, environmental toxicity, nutritional balance, and structural integrity. So it's based on a proven combination of scientific research and centuries old techniques like traditional Chinese medicine that's used in Eastern healing. The NET modality identifies and helps you let go of stuck mind-body stress patterns. And so that's why we think it kind of fits in with this flower essence therapy, because they can be used in combination. So let's talk about like the NET process and how you basically, let's explain like what an NET session looks like to a patient.
Okay. Yeah. So again, I do NET all day long because again, when we talk about nervous system dysregulation, if your nervous system is not regulated, you will not heal. The period. So this is the women who can't lose weight, who you're doing all the right things and you just can't heal. NET is the one thing that shifts the needle and creates the most capacity within the cup that is your nervous system, right? Our nervous system is always overflowing because we're overstimulated. So we want to create capacity in there so you have the ability to heal. And you learn and you have the space to tolerate other stressors, no matter what they are, physical stressors, emotional stressors, whatever. So with NET, I would be considered a body doc because I work on the body. And so I use the front moo points of the different organ points of the acupuncture meridian. And every organ system in traditional Chinese medicine is related to an emotion. So you'll hear like liver and gallbladder is resentment, lung is grief, spleen has to do with kind of like self-esteem, and hopelessness. There's a lot of hopelessness happening right now. And so what we're able to do is figure out if based on the body and the nervous system, what's going on, we can identify if there's a stressor related to that, and then we help clear it out. So we walk through a few simple steps, and we use the tool of muscle testing to identify if we're basically like what we consider like hot on the trail or in the right spot. So consciously, we know, like, one of the biggest things I always start with people is, are you willing, able, are you willing and able to heal? Do you believe you can heal?
Yeah, because just because they walked into your office doesn't mean that their mindset is ready to deal with their problems, right?
100%. So it's like consciously you were like, oh, of course I am. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm paying all this money to be here. But if you do not truly believe you can heal, you will not heal. So that's the first obstacle always. And so they can simply say the statement, like, I'm willing to heal. I'm ready to heal. And we use muscle testing to see how does the nervous system respond to the statement. And so if you say a statement like, I'm ready, willing, and able to heal, and your muscle goes weak, your nervous system is saying, there's like a glitch basically that your nervous system's saying, like, nope, you're not quite ready. There's something here that's impeding us from healing. And I think a lot about like limiting beliefs. So again, why do we feel like we don't deserve to be healthy or deserve to heal or whatever's holding us back? And this can be in love and romantic relationships. This can a lot of money stuff. And then also us and the different roles we play in our life. And so when we're able to identify that, then we go through the process to help clear that unresolved stress pattern. So we can identify what it is. We can figure out the emotion based on the organ system that shows up, and we have a beautiful, colorful chart with all of the emotions on it. And then we walk through that. And so by using the muscle testing, we're really kind of tapping into the subconscious mind, into those limiting beliefs, and into these things that are showing up that we're not really aware of that are holding us back. And so it's really, really powerful. I had an amazing session today with someone who we only did NET, and they were like, how do you know all this stuff? Like all of these things that are coming up. And I'm like, I don't know it. I'm just here to ask the questions.
You're the facilitator,
yes.
right? Mm-hmm.
So I'm just here asking the body, like, what direction, like you tell me. And it's so spot on every time. And it's just uncovering some really cool things. And so we process it. The whole thing takes 2 minutes. It's super quick. We allow the patient to process it and take their time. Sometimes people cry. Sometimes you feel nothing. You feel this rise in emotion, because we have to remember that emotions are physical. So they're in our body. They're not just in our brain. For the longest time, they told us the brain and the body is separate, and then all the pieces of your body is separate. Well, we've known for a very long time that's not the truth. And now they're finally connecting the dots. So we're able to say, okay, well, what body part or how is the stress impacting our physical body, right? So that's the TCM, or the traditional Chinese medicine too, is like, if we have longstanding anger and resentment, it will manifest physically. So people will have issues with liver and gallbladder.
Or the thoracic parts of your body, like in between your shoulder blades.
Yeah, because a liver or muscle is the rhomboids, which is right in the middle of there.
Yeah. So these emotions, just using the traditional Chinese medicine, can point you in different directions of the body. Like if you have a patient that comes in saying, I have a pain in my back right between my shoulder blades on the right side, you've ruled out all structural issues. Like the rib is fine. It's not out of place. There's no lung issues. Breathing is fine. You go through all of that. Then you might want to look into the fact that, well, let's check to see if there's an emotion there, a negative emotion that you need to be letting go. So you start the process. And like you said, it's like a 2-minute process. And it's so simple that even children, we do this on children.
Yeah,
it's very helpful.
They respond so well to it.
Yeah. So with the person with the back pain, then you start the NET, you go in and you realize that it's maybe the anniversary of a divorce, and they're holding that resentment, and it's manifesting in like the shoulder blade area of the back. And so then you go through what you call the hookup, where one of their hands will go on their forehead to cover the emotion points, and the other hand, you're not going to be able to reach that.
No, it would be on the organ. Yeah. The actual organ. So it would be on like the liver. So we'll say if it would, the liver's on the side. So you would use the liver and the forehead. So that's how we would do it. Or if, we can use the pulse points as well. So the thing too is that the emotion can cause that pain. It can be the cause of the pain or the dysfunction or dis-ease within the body, but it can also prevent us from healing. So in that case, with that example is like, yes, it could be the reason that maybe the muscle's not functioning right. Maybe it's the pain. So we cleared off, the pain is gone. That's so cool. Or we cleared out and now the muscles turned back on, which eliminates the pain. The other thing is the emotions can hold us in that pattern so that when we release that emotion, it just lets go. And so it can either be the cause of the pain or preventing us from actually healing. So I see it a lot with my athletes who they're like, well, I sprained my ankle in the championship basketball game in high school, and it's never been the same. And it never fully recovered because all of those emotions that person felt at that time are stored. We say the issues are in the tissues.
Mm-hmm.
So that ankle never fully was able to heal because those emotions were keeping that pattern and keeping all of that locked up.
And this also happens too, now that you bring that up, with people who continue to sprain the same ankle.
Yeah.
Or continue to hurt the same body part.
Yes.
Yeah. Then that's a pretty good indication that you've got a stuck emotion in there in that particular area of the body.
Or what I find the most is pain that people can't describe. It doesn't fit in a box. It doesn't fit into a diagnosis. So they've been to all the doctors and the surgeons and everyone's like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what box to check to put you in. So when people come in, they're like, and I'm like, tell me whatever you feel like, just tell me what you feel and I'll figure it out. Because a lot of times I'm like, there's an emotion.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. So if you want to experience NET for yourself, so I suppose we should probably wrap up like what this actually entails. We talked about the muscle testing. We'll go into that a little bit more. We talked about covering the emotional points and the area of the body. And then that's where the emotions come out. You start to concentrate on that issue, like the divorce or the anniversary or the injury.
We always bring it back to you. So that's our entryway into it. When we get down through the system, we figure out, well, what was the hardest part of that? Because it's through your emotional reality, right? Everything you feel, everything is through your lens of the world. And so your emotion is valid, but it might not be true reality. But we always bring it back to you. Like, what was the hardest part? And that's what you concentrate on.
Fantastic. Awesome. Hey, stick around. We're going to have one more segment where we talk about applied kinesiology and the softer side of naturopathic medicine.
How would you like to safely leverage bank money to earn double-digit returns, income tax-free, with guarantees and no downside market risk? How can you do this? This is Ference, host of the Your Personal Bank Show. 1. You fund a high cash value policy one time to earn dividends and interest. 2. Establish a bank line of credit using the cash in your policy as collateral. When you earn more in dividends from your policy than the interest the bank charges, you keep the difference. And the difference is averaged 2 to 5% annually in your favor for the past 40 plus years. 3, the bank funds contributions years 2 to 20 plus. Each year the bank adds funds, your rate of return increases. Your average rate of return can grow to strong double digits annually within a few years. Contact me at yourpersonalbank.com, yourpersonalbank.com, or 866-268-4422, 866-268-4422 for more info, or tune in to the Your Personal Bank Show Tuesdays at noon.
Tired of that same old spin on Washington? You want the truth? Then listen to All Right Now with me, JD Hayworth, every weekday 3 to 5 p.m. right here on Money Radio. I'll give it to you straight. I've represented you in Washington, and I've lived to tell some tales. You can get involved. Call in, text our show, and you know you'll get it right. It's All Right Now, every weekday 3 to 5 right here on Money Radio.
Do you need equipment for your business but don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used equipment. Excavators, forklifts, dozers, tractors, cranes, plows, and more. If it's essential to your business, I will help you get the money you need. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Welcome back to Your Health is Wealth. We are the doctors from Naturopathic Physicians Group. And we are talking today about naturopathic medicine and its soft side of therapies. We have Dr. Whitney Donahue with us today, helping me explain what the softer side of medicine is. So I'm going to give you a little tip of the week. So basically, this fits in with what we're talking about. We are a whole being. We are mind, body, and spirit as a whole being. If we're determined to optimize our health, we really must better ourselves as an entire being. So that means we need to address all parts of us, our mind, our body, and our spirit. So that's our mind being our mental well-being, our body being our physical structure, and our spirit being our spiritual beliefs and practices. And there's many different ways that we can improve those. Choose what you're comfortable with. Choose what works in your life. I mean, a couple examples, could be talk therapy or exercise, dancing. You have to do the vitamins and the nutrient-dense foods, obviously, but sports, meditation, yoga, church, prayer. Do you have anything to add to that list?
No, I just think that, we always need something bigger than ourselves. So again, I say the same thing, like whatever that is for you, if you need to explore your options. I recently had a slew of patients who actually were like, I went back to church. I really felt like I needed something else. And it was in with a week span. I bet 10 people told me the same thing. And I was like, okay. And who cares what anyone else thinks? It's whatever best serves you.
Exactly.
But it was very interesting to see that there's this drive. And I think that's what we've been missing for a long time, is just knowing that there's something bigger than us in whatever aspect that is for you.
Yeah. And if we can put all of those pieces together, I mean, honestly, our head is connected to our body. So we have to address it.
And it runs our body.
Yeah, it really does.
So whoever separated that, I don't know.
Right. So this final segment of the radio show here today, we're going to be talking about something called applied kinesiology. You'll hear us refer to it as AK. So applied kinesiology sometimes can also be referred to as manual muscle testing. And we talked about muscle testing earlier in the show too. Basically, it's an alternative medical practice that uses muscle strength and weakness to diagnose and treat ailments. Now, this is mostly a diagnostic modality. And this helps AK practitioners identify what's happening within the body without using invasive measures. So AK teaches us that internal issues cause related muscle weaknesses and then pathological conditions in the organ systems that are reflected in those corresponding muscle groups. Now, you use this a lot.
Yeah, this is the basis of my practice. And so applied kinesiology is really a system. So we've been talking about the emotional, the chemical, biochemical, which can be both, microbial dysfunction, toxins, any type of thing with that, or nutrients that we need. And then we have the physical body. And so it puts it all together in a framework that allows us to navigate the body to figure this out. And so I use it a lot in terms of how do we fill the gaps? We have everything that you come in and you tell your doctor. Then we have all the labs and the imaging and all this other information. And a lot of times we're like, oh, this doesn't make sense, or it's not, patients are feeling it's perfect example. My labs are fine. Everyone keeps telling me my labs are fine, but you do not feel fine. So we're able to say, okay, well, what is going on with the body and how can we connect the dots? And so it's just pointing us in the direction to put it all together. And so it's less about, I focus more on how the patient is feeling. So labs give us information, but I'm not treating lab numbers. I'm treating you. So how do we best get you feeling better? And this has been the tool that has significantly changed everything, because I can prioritize what is going on with the body today? What does it need help with? And how do we do that? And we do that by exploring that triangle and looking at, is there a physical ailment going on? Is there a muscle? Is there a, vertebrae? Is there nerves? What is going on with that? Is there an emotion there? And then how do we best support that organ system or body? And so we're just able to kind of do this whole body approach really quickly and streamline it and pinpoint what your body needs the most. And that way we're also really specific with any supplements that we're giving you. I think as naturopathic doctors, we give a lot of supplements, and a lot of times it's so much that the body, again, is so overstimulated that it's too much and it can't utilize it. So how do we give the body just what it needs so that it can use a little bit at a time and heal. And that's when we get those layers to peel back much quicker.
Yeah. And so the muscle testing, that's the basis of this modality. Now, you've probably heard of like maybe orthopedic muscle testing. So it's a little bit different than orthopedic. Now, we learned orthopedic muscle testing in naturopathic medical school, but then both Dr. Whitney and I have spent hundreds of hours on the weekends while we're in medical school learning applied kinesiology muscle testing. And pretty much, I mean, it's super non-invasive. You hold a muscle, like you hold your arm in the air, and the practitioner puts some pressure on it to see if you can match that pressure. If it goes weak, that's a weak muscle test. That tells us something is going on in that area. And an orthopedic test is basically like, okay, this is the actual muscle that is the issue if you can't hold your biceps up. But with applied kinesiology, that tells us it could be neurolymphatic, it could be nerve signals, it could be related to the traditional Chinese medicine meridians. And we haven't even gotten into that yet.
Yeah. So orthopedic testing is like on a scale of 1 to 5. Like, does your muscle work? Or it's basically how we diagnose paralysis or like really big neurological things, right? When we talk about applied kinesiology and muscle testing in the functional, so it's functional neurology, is that we're looking for, yes, you can obviously still move your arm, but it's because your body's really smart and it's going to compensate. We're actually able to put the arm in the position of that specific muscle that's being tested. So we try to isolate it as much as possible to get an actual feedback of what that muscle, how that muscle is functioning. And the weakness tells us, is just saying, okay, this muscle is not fully online. Like, we think of it like a light switch. So if it's weak, the light's turned off. If it's on, the light's on, right? And so we, again, just because that muscle is weak, we figure out, okay, is it a physical thing? How do we can correct the muscle physically, turn it back on? Nope, that didn't work. Still weak. The next thing, we go to the organ system. Again, Dr. Goodhart figured out that every muscle is related to an organ system. So then we're like, okay, is this an organ system? Again, we talked about the liver. It's associated with the rhomboids. Okay, so is that turn it on? If it does, then we know the liver needs support, but we have to figure out why. It's just an indication. It's just saying, okay, well, this muscle is weak because of this organ system, but we have to figure out, okay, well, why? How do we best support this and what's happening? So it's really just giving us way more information. It doesn't tell us why. We actually have to figure out why. Or again, the opposite, or the last thing is an emotion. So if someone holds emotional points and we test that same muscle and it goes strong, then we know it's an emotion. We clear the emotion, the muscle's strong. We know that was the insulting factor to it. So it just gives us so much more information to be so much more exact with how we can help the body.
Oh my gosh, I love what we do.
Yes.
So for example, let's say somebody comes in with like a pain in the upper traps. It's just like wrenching. There's nothing structural going on. There's no previous injury. There is absolutely no reason for this to be happening, right? So the upper traps, they're on the kidney meridian, right? So kidneys, you want to look at like fear. What's going on? Maybe they have, whatever negative emotion is that's going on with them that's causing them to be fearful. It could be, like we talked about earlier, in the past. It could have been from like a 6-year-old issue that they had in kindergarten or something, or it could be right now. So then you clear the emotion, or you might need to go into like like we talked about neurolymphatics. We talked about like there's something called the Golgi tendon that's at the ends of the muscle. There's just, honestly, I don't think a couple 100 hours is enough to learn everything with AK.
I took it 3 times, like maybe 3.5 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much information, and you can just go down a rabbit hole with this. But honestly, there's just golden nuggets of information that help the practitioner to diagnose what's going on in your body.
And you get in real time feedback. So it doesn't really take that long if you know what's going, like all the options. You can test it and you can go and we get feedback right away. So we don't have to guess either.
Dr. Whitney, tell us how our patients can get a hold of you for some of this amazing therapy.
My website, drwhitneydonahue.com. There's a discovery call link. You can call, schedule that. We can chat about what's going on, see how I can help you. Also, I'm most active on Instagram at Dr. Whitney Donahue ND. Again, the link is there. Awesome. Tons of value there too, folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Join us back next week for another episode of Your Health is Wealth.
Thanks for listening to Your Health is Wealth. Be sure to tune in next week to learn more wisdom on how to live a fuller, richer life. If you have questions about today's show or would like to find out more about the topics we discussed today, call the Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161 or email them at info@naturopathicgroup.com.
The arguments both for and against the two-party system are as old as the Constitution itself. And that's what will be at the root of this broadcast. How do we fix the antagonism which seems to be rooted in Democrats versus Republicans? Because the issues are always far more complex than that. And neither party has a solution or an antidote which will appease everyone, even from within their own party. Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 9 a.m. for AZ's On the Fence, right here on Money Radio.
Life is challenging and ever-changing, so take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com for our special offer, a financial freedom membership for only $297. That's 60% off the regular price. Enter promo code 2024. Learn to retire through real estate investing from the best. Go to GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Learn the path to retiring at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
That talks about your money. Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM is KFNN Mesa Phoenix.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. The Supreme Court overturning a ban on bump stocks, an attachment used to make a semi-automatic rifle fire like a machine gun. Fox's Jared Halpern.
Bump stocks do not meet the legal threshold of a machine gun, and therefore a majority of justices say the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives wrongly banned the accessory.
The Trump administration banned bump stocks following a mass shooting in Las Vegas. A wrecking crew bringing down a Florida school building where a former student gunned down 17 people in 2018. Fox's Evan Brown.
A giant crane is making rubble of the 1200 building of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
It had to be done. It just was long overdue.
A crowd gathered to watch this final bit of horror be erased.
The gunman now serving a life sentence. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Is your timeshare suffocating you? Are you feeling powerless because you were sold a bad investment that is nothing like you were promised? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. If you're ready to get rid of that timeshare, I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free, exposing the timeshare industry scams with all your options for cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? ROLAIDS.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
ROLAIDS.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still ROLAIDS.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's time for your Money Radio market update. Well, a mixed day on Wall Street. The Dow fell 57 points at 38,589. The S&P 500 dropped 2 at 5431. The Nasdaq up 21 points at 17,688. As of the closing bell, gold was up $30.30, trading at $23.48 an ounce, and oil was down 7 cents, trading at $78 a barrel. The Dow was down 57. The S&P dropped 2. The Nasdaq up 21.
An excessive heat warning continues through Sunday. Well, this afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine with a high of 108. Clear tonight, low 82. Saturday is sunny, high 112. Sunny Sunday, high 110. Learn why more Money Radio listeners are moving their financial plans and their 401k rollovers to Steve Jurich with IQ Wealth. Call today to arrange your free strategy session for 2024. Visit IQWealth.com, IQWealth.com. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
Steve Jurich here. Something very unique and timely is taking place right now, and it may not last. So if you have money you want to invest safely with a 24/7 stop loss, yet with exceptional uncapped double-digit index growth potential, pay attention. A financial sweet spot has been created due to higher interest rates, and it could put serious money in your pocket with less risk than almost any investment you may be considering. Imagine never having to worry about another market crash as long as you live while staying in position for remarkable index gains. And if you're rolling over a 401k soon, don't miss this opportunity to turn all or part of your 401k into an IRA that keeps you in ownership control of your principal and can pay you and your spouse from 6% to 12% annually for life, like a pension, depending on age and deferral period.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com. That's IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Roth, and I'm the host of Health Futures Taking Stock in You. We've been on the air here on Money Radio since January 2014. I'm also the managing partner for Cypress Home Care Solutions, and we understand the importance of compassionate and trustworthy home care. In fact, we created Cypress Home Care based on our own personal experience of being caregivers for our own mom. We're locally owned and operated, and we are an in-home care supportive service agency founded in 1994 to better meet the needs of our community. You see, Cypress is a solutions-driven business dedicated to providing different levels of knowledgeable and experienced care to people who wish to stay in their own home. We assist with the needs of our clients with activities of daily living, from cooking and shopping to driving to appointments and even doing laundry. We also offer respite services by providing the relief family members so desperately need. So call us today at 602-264-8009 or look us up on the web at cypresshomecare.com.
We all know driving hammered gets you nailed, but did you also know driving high is a DUI? I'm Officer Badalucco with the Gilbert Police Department. Anything that impairs your driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is illegal. Be smart with marijuana use. Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with hashtag HighDUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Hi, I'm Tom Horn, Arizona Superintendent of Schools. My job is to further improve Arizona's already excellent public schools. But if your school is not meeting your child's needs, you have choices.
We have 4 children that all have special needs and they need specialized instruction. Without ESA, we would not ever be able to afford something like this. I encourage every parent to look into the ESA program. It's been invaluable to our family.
Learn more about ESAs at azed.gov.
Hey, and welcome. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. So Joe Biden has been a disaster on pretty much every front, which is why in the polling he is doing really badly right now. And I lead pretty much every show with this because obviously